Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to Miami Minutes, the podcast where we strike with no mercy into the night each week to talk about. See, I always do that. I always think like, oh, I nailed that intro, and then I'm just like, I get so busy, can pat myself in the back. I messed up the rest of it, so...
You fucking loser, you can't get anything right.
So strike with no mercy into the night while we talk about the hit. Well, the not hit at all, but the...
It's a hit with us.
The released and then forgotten and then celebrated 1987 classic Miami Connection, 1 minute at a time. I am one of the hosts, Niall McGowan.
And here to steal your cocaine and your life, it is I, John Parker.
Oh my God. This is like the one of the greatest lyrics ever. It's just like, friggin' color my life with the chaos of trouble by, the Belle and Sebastian, shaking up this family tree with sibling synchronicity from the Sister Sister theme tune, and steal all your cocaine along with your life from Dragon Sound. This is our first minute with Dragon Sound. I'm so excited to be able to talk about these guys, man.
Oh, not that the rest of the show so far hasn't been fun. I'm sure you'll agree, listeners. But this is where it's going to go into overdrive.
Yeah, now it's like this and the next minute. They're just like, here it is. This is Miami Connection now. We're out of Miami. We left that dead Edinburgh behind.
Nobody wants to stay in Miami. God damn it. Actually, I have heard quite a few people dissing Miami in real life. So.
No, I'm not too sure because I know, I'm sure we've mentioned on the show several times already, but of course, Stephanie, our mutual friend Stephanie Palacino, comes from Miami originally. And I don't know if I have a vibe that she probably hates Miami as well, despite being from there.
Well, let me clarify, right? I have heard Miami is a shithole. I have no opinion. I've not been there. So if you're listening from Miami, it's not me saying it. I've heard people say it. It might be lovely for all I know.
But I mean, even the song that begins in this minute, it's called Escape from Miami because they cannot break that connection fast enough. They can't get out of that city. Let's write a song to celebrate while we're biking our way out of there.
Well, I mean, if it's the kind of place where you lose either your cocaine or your life, or both, that's not the place I want to be. We should, to do the movies about a minute thing properly, we should, of course, I should say where the minute begins and where it ends. So it begins with our villainous mastermind, Yashito, accosting his idiotic men. I don't know. It could be women. There could be everyone in between under those ninja outfits. We don't know, but that's true. Non-gender specific.
Yeah. So, but he's accosting them for leaving the money behind. Basically, finishing the anecdote that he began last minute, and then it ends a minute later with the credit for the DP. What's the guy's name again? He's got a pretty cool name.
Maximo Munzi. Yeah,
that's the guy. But yeah, so we do still have that little bit at the beginning where we talked about it last minute, as I recall, because he's just like, bring in the thing. I brought the money with me, and so don't do that again, guys. And then they're like, hey, thanks.
Yeah. And I'm still confused. Like, I brought it here, so that was him earlier in the movie. He was the one who physically took it. So then, what's this show all about?
I don't know if he's basically like, I knew you were going to balls this up. Well, I guess maybe his thing was he's like a undercover boss. So he is just like, I'm just going to go there and see if they're saying anything about me. Or like, what's it, maybe he's just really paranoid. I don't think my men
maybe
like
their
me.
Yearly reviews coming up, and he wants to really get a nice picture of what's going on with each gang member.
It could be he's just an asshole who is just like, I'm going to send them out to do a task. I'm going to show up and watch them. And then I'm going to give them notes about their bad report.
Overall, 4 out of 10.
Yeah, the little rating system. He's just like, don't take it as a negative. It's constructive criticism. But please do remember to bring the money back with you. So I had to do that.
As somebody who hates any form of criticism at all, I would not want to listen to him. I would not be in this gang.
Well, that's the thing, because we do get a little glimpse of the guys outside of their guise. Although, would you call these gis the ninja outfits? It's just more ninja garb. I don't know what the official name for that would be.
Have I said already on the show? Let me just.
So I think the gis are like what you would wear in a karate tournament. It's not like this is them in like basically balaclavas and stuff, but like.
Well, looking at it, I mean, they seem to commonly be called ninja yoro. Here's me messing up Japanese. Ninja yoroi, which is ninja armor.
Yeah. Although weirdly, it doesn't have much armor as part of it. Because maybe on the padding and the chest and stuff.
Maybe by old-fashioned standards, it does. Maybe it kind of helps prevent a deadly blow from a blade, I guess. With the material, it could sort of be difficult to slice.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to be in the movie. Like,
no. Although, again, I think that might be a budgetary thing more than like... although you think with, YK Kim running his own dojo, he would have like boxes of... well, I guess he would have boxes of gis. He might not have, ninja armor slam in the back.
Yeah, gi makes sense. He'll have gi. Ninja outfits a bit trickier to come across. Although, as I said, earlier in the show, there is a ninja school here in Liverpool, Ninjutsu Dojo.
Yeah.
So, maybe they're not that difficult. I assume you need to have one to go there. I don't know.
I think one of the first things to get into the school, you have to sneak into the school.
That's
so the teacher has to show up and he's expecting people to fall down from the roof and stuff and be under his table already. And...
You can't ask to join.
You just have to kind of surprise him.
Yep.
And he's like, you passed the first lesson.
You just pop up behind him with a knife to his throat. He's like, good.
You got the spirit.
The spirit of the ninja.
Oh. But yeah, so we finally come to the end of our little prologue. And then we cut the credits. And the sound of the greatest band that has ever existed begins to rev up within the first 5 seconds of this minute. We get the first sounds of Dragon Sound. Although I have to ask, are we to take it that this is Dragon Sound performing this song?
I think we are supposed to believe that. I know we don't see them performing it, but it's clearly the same musicians and vocalists, right?
Well, so one of the other big Against the Ninja, because that's sung by a woman. So, and then Friends has a much lighter, because that's more of a Friends. This one's a real Dragon's my day, ninjas man. So
well, that's true. Maybe it's maybe it is the gang singing it.
Well, that would make much more sense because all the lyrics are just it's singing about exactly who they are, considering the Orpans haven't encountered these guys yet. They don't know anything about them. Why would they be performing a song about bikers by day, ninja by night?
That's very true.
And then it is weird because it keeps cutting back to them. It cuts between the bikers by day. And the sun's going down, so they're going to the ninja garb, just such wrapping itself around their bodies like a werewolf while they're riding their bikes. And then coming back to the band, but I did note that they're it's all badly synced up. So establishing a collage of filmed material. It's in your head is they are performing this song. This is a live footage from Dragon Sound doing a gig. But then it is no, they're clearly because it's footage from several different concerts because they're wearing different outfits every 5 seconds. And then it's also they're clearly not playing live either. And then also, how would they know anything about it? I think it might be that that's just added an element of confusion. Because it might just be that this is supposed to be an unconnected song to Dragon Sound that happens to be about this gang.
Okay, I think you're onto something. Yep, you've swayed me completely. It can't be Dragon Sound. It doesn't make sense.
Not a lot about this movie does make sense, to be fair. Wow. But it's but the thing is that it's why wasn't it the Ninja Gang? Wouldn't that be a little bit of an extra element if it were not only are they bikers by day, ninjas by night. like they're also like an evil band.
Well, the way that guy later on, spoiler alert, goes on about like, you know, Dragontown, they play songs for kids. It's almost like he's the manager of the band who are their rivals, who should be the bikers.
Yeah. It's a very unusual choice that YK didn't just go the extra mile, be like, because then you can have like a battle of the band scenario at the end or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ. We're going down a rabbit hole already. I did look up this first credit we see, this new credit, a PJK Group Inc. production. I was like, that sounds very mysterious. That's got to be just some random fucking name they've come up with like we did Sleepy Charlie Media. And the BFI list this as the only picture ever produced by the PJK Group, whoever they are. Ooh, do you think maybe they just came up with a name?
Yes, man. And it wasn't quite on the level of Wiseau Productions. But...
Well, what do you think it means? Maybe the K is Kim. But what was the other director's name? I've written that down.
I think that was Park, wasn't it? Richard Park. So Park.
So that could be P.
Park Kim. What's the third letter? M? PK.
No, J. PJK.
PJK. I think with that guy Joseph Diamond, maybe they're throwing in, they've mixed it up instead of putting the D.
Oh, there you go.
They put the J instead.
It's blatantly like a trio of names.
I was like, this is a force to be reckoned with. They will never be broken.
PJK for life.
The director couldn't even finish the movie, so the K really had to capitalize that K to be like
a giant K towering over the other letters.
Oh,
and I love it once that goes and the music kicks in that you're talking about. You know, we see the rough, tough, badass biker dudes revving their engines. Fuck yeah! Except none of them look rough and tough. They look like middle-aged dads.
Oh, that's the first one you get is that guy. If you look, it really just reminded me. Like, I guess it is a big cliche, but you remember in the film of Bohemian Rhapsody, I got confused at some point because all of Freddie Mercury's boyfriends all looked the same, and they all looked like this guy. Like, it's the biker jacket, the mustache, and the glasses, and that haircut as well. It's like
I guess Freddie had a type when it came to men.
Oh yeah, but so much so though, as an audience member. A fully adult audience member was just sitting going like, is that the same guy? And then when the two boyfriends are on screen at the same time, you're like, what the hell? It's like,
I'm seeing double here.
Yeah, 4 boyfriends. Oh, but that's the thing though. So now we are getting definite confirmation though that like it's not a gang exclusively from Japan. It seems like this is just a motley crew of any old asshole could join up with the biker ninja gang.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to. Maybe I'm thinking too deep here. I think it's supposed to mirror Kim and Co. It's sort of like, you know, they've taken in street kids. They've taken in, you know, people with nowhere to go, and they've turned them to evil rather than the way the others have sort of tried to better themselves.
It has like Orpan stitched on there. Like that's on the back of the leather jackets instead of T-birds, orphans.
That can be our gang. We're going to start our own biker gang, the Orpans. Yeah, the Liverpool chapter.
And then we have to go at night to the ninja school in Liverpool because like, the dream is to be bikers by day but ninjas by night. Okay.
I mean, isn't that everyone's dream?
No. But the thing is that like they look so well. The thing is, like, I think some of them are trying to look badass, but in the opening shot of the mustache guy,
the guy behind him,
the guy, he's having the time of his life, but he's just so like I want to go out, hang out with this guy because he's clearly having a great time, and he must be up to some. I kind of get the vibe of like because it had that that little moment there with Yashito where he's just like I think it was designed to show him ruling with an iron fist.
Yeah,
and they're all like, oh, did the instant response to him, and I was forgot to mention too, weird room sound in that little segment as well. It was like proper ethereal whooshing basically happening. It's like, oh, that baby from Eraserhead probably turned out to be an Orpan as well. So I guess you could tie it into the Lynch world if you want to. It's genuine ethereal whooshing. But
I am 100% behind this. I need these two things to collide, and they have.
But I get the real vibe because Yashito is with them as they're biking, which I thought was makes sense if they are a gang of biker ninjas. But it kind of seems like the biker stuff, like, oh, this is the fun time. This is where you can't have the angry boss man be part of that. Like he's gotta go off and be mysterious and deadly behind closed doors, and then they go off and do their thing, But
he likes to lead by example. He's a good boss. A good boss joins in with the crew. A good boss doesn't just delegate.
Unless he's there, and this is him also in the skies to see how they balls up the biking element during the day.
Yeah, this isn't what he looks like at all either.
He does it properly. He's got a little fake mustache on. They're like, all right, good.
He has tried to cool himself up from what he looked like before.
Definitely.
He's got a pretty rad outfit on, a nice scarf, very fetching. Looks designer.
They really do. Like they lean into like the whatever thing they're doing, and then the ninjas, they look like ninjas. And when they're bikers, they are the most cliched bikers. Like they got the tashes, they got the bandanas, they got the leather jackets.
This is like what I do. If I'm like going to a goth night, it's like, right, I'm going to dress like Dave Vanian from The Damned. I'm going to be a vampire.
As there's two dress codes to being in this gang. All right?
You've got to nail both. It's like RuPaul's Drag Race. You can get one down, but if you don't do the double whammy, you're in trouble.
But again, him being there, Yashito, it does have the real vibe of like, you goddamn it, you never guarantee me that you never fail again. Now let's all get drunk and play ping pong. And it's like, hey, let's go out for a good time.
Like that. That's the vibe, because he clearly looks like he's off the clock.
Yeah.
He's chilling. He's chilling with his buddies. One of which you can see is called Chuck, right? Because it's written on his jacket. But I looked at the credits and nobody is credited as Chuck.
Oh, I imagine this is just some guy. Like there was a real like, yeah, we got a free pizza show up for the day.
Either that, or they bought the jacket from like a thrift store.
That's
and
also
it just had Chuck on it.
Yeah. Oh man, like the idea though that like. There's even a biker called Chuck. Seems weird to me, but like it doesn't sound like a very bikery name.
I can go with Chuck. Chuck. I don't know. We don't really get people called Chuck over here.
No, it's a very American thing. It's a real. Yeah, I don't think it would ever pen. I think I feel weird saying it now. Quite frankly,
it doesn't sound right in our accents, does it?
No.
Chuck.
I don't think of any. Well, Chuck Norris, of course, had been like. Maybe it's a tribute to him. He is, of course, a great champion of various forms of martial arts. Chuck Norris.
That's true. I love the way you went the sensible route. In the back of my mind, I was just thinking of, oh yeah, that wrestler from WCW in the late 90s, Chuck Palumbo.
Well, my initial thought was like Chuck Russell, the guy who directed Dream Warriors and The Mask and stuff. And I was like, no, there is a much more famous Chuck.
Yeah, but, one connected to this movie in a way.
Well, I'm sure actually, as we get into the credits and stuff, there are people in this who worked on like quote unquote proper films. Some of them with Chuck Norris. So
what are you saying about this movie? Huh?
Maybe Chuck Norris gives jackets out to people he works with as like little tokens. Maybe on the back of it, it's got like his face or probably like his fists, more likely.
Yeah, from your good buddy Chuck.
So I mean, like that'd be a real Chuck Norris move. As well, I mean, instead of like, oh, here's a personalized jacket. Personalized jackets for the crew normally would have all their names on them.
It's got his name.
It's just my name. It doesn't mention the film. It just has my face.
That's a power move, that is.
Yeah. But the thing is, though, because everyone will be going, you're not Chuck. He's like, no, it's Chuck Norris. I walked with him. Yeah.
I'll be like, I killed Chuck Norris and took it from him.
Although... Of course, we know from early 2000 memes, John, that would be physically and philosophically impossible to kill Chuck Norris. But
maybe Yashito can.
Although Yashito does something in the next minute that makes me think he is a god amongst men. But we'll get there eventually.
I think I might know. Yeah, I'm excited for that. But in this one, we catch a glimpse of an awesome drum kit. And then boom, title card, baby. Miami Connection is on.
Yeah, we are out of Miami, but let's not forget the connection.
Don't forget the connection. And what a font. What a font. I now want to make all our merch in this font.
But that's the thing, though. Could you track the font? So no, we have done it in the past for Batman, where like you distinctly remember. I'll never forget that guy marking down the movie for the opening credits of Batman Returns being in Times New Roman.
Yeah.
So there must be a way that people can be like, I know exactly what that font is. But
I found a website when I was making merch. Was it for this show? We do that many shows now. It was either for this show or for Hedvig. I can't remember. And I found a website where you put an image in and it scans it and gives you the probability of what fonts that is. You know, it'll say like, it's 90% sure to be this font.
Wow.
It's, 10% sure to be this font. So you can go, oh, well, it's that one, or sometimes it might not know and it'll say, well, 50-50 on these,
Yeah.
But you can use your judgment.
Google has, like, cause there used to be back in, a couple of years ago, people would Shazam things.
I do that all the time.
What's Shazam? That's the music recognizing app, isn't it?
I'm always using that. I was using that in the pub the other day.
No, but the Google has an inbuilt version of it now. Because I don't have Shazam downloaded. But one night, in the middle of the night, I woke up with a thing stuck in my head. And it was a real, 3 a.m. just like, I need to know what this is. And it was just like, Googled it and this went like, and it brought it up successfully. I was like, holy
Wait, you
crap.
hummed it?
Yeah, I hummed it into the mic. And
Holy
the Google thing recognized it. It was insane.
That is an evolution of the tech.
Yeah, so maybe we should be able to describe the font to Google.
Just in English. Just say to it, well, it's kind of slanted a little bit. And
like, that is the papyrus font. No, it's not papyrus.
Goddamn piece of shit.
That is Arial Black.
Well, as well as a great font. Oh my God, the music. The music is incredible.
Yeah.
The best lyric of all time. Bikers by day, ninjas by night. That I know you've said it already, but oh, it's beautiful.
I mean, just even so, this opening burst though, because I've got the lyrics up in front of me here, and the song it just gets better as it goes on.
Yes.
But they're bikers by day, ninjas by night, swift and fierce, not afraid to fight.
Steal all your both do like a South Park version.
Steal all your cocaine along with your life. Strike with no mercy into the night.
Woo!
Oh.
Hell yeah!
The thing is, it's just like, I don't think people even would say it ironically about the soundtrack of this movie. It's just a banger of a song. It's not even like, I'm liking it ironically.
No.
It's a genuinely great song.
It's awesome. And it could have been a hit back then. A lot of stuff sounded like this in the 80s.
Oh,
you know who would listen to this? Johnny Lawrence.
100%. Johnny Lawrence, he would more than likely have been like one of the 12 people who showed up to this in the cinema.
They should put that in the show. They should do like a flashback one time. And it's just, I'll just have him talking about, I saw this awesome movie when I was a teenager. It was the most badass fucking film I've ever seen.
Look, YK Kim I know he just doesn't do anything. Like, he obviously does his.
I was going to say, he's very successful in other ways, yeah.
But, desperately need him. I think we've talked about him being in Cobra Kai already, but it's just like, it's gotta happen. This was it. We couldn't make Tommy Wiseau showing up in the Twin Peaks reboot happen, which was a thing we were talking about for like years before they rebooted Twin Peaks. And it came and went, and they had they had Michael Cera in it, and they didn't have Tommy Wiseau. But if we can do anything, we can get YK Kim, the cameo, at least as a judge in like the all state. But then I guess he would be like, I'm Taekwondo. That's karate. It's a completely different friggin' medium.
Oh, that's a good point. He might not be happy with that.
Yeah. They might have messaged him many times, and he just sends back the torn up paper or whatever.
This garbage karate.
He is notorious for not, acknowledging calls that he thinks are like insulting to him. So
that's like me. I don't acknowledge any calls. I've got about 15 missed calls at the minute.
Yeah, that would be the thing on the 15th one with him. Much like when they were telling him, we want to release your movie again. he might be like, you seriously want me to be on Cobra Kai?
Yeah. Well, if you're listening, YK, yes, contact them. Get in touch. I'm sure they want you. Well, speaking of him, actually, I mean, we get the credits of him, Vincent Hirsch, etc. But we've talked about this, haven't we? We're going to save any deep dives we actually manage to perform until we meet the characters. We can't guarantee we can actually do well on these deep dives because, no offense to these people, but a lot of them don't have film careers after this.
These guys are like, you would need the FBI to get you a report on these people. It's like they got nothing, no trace of them on the internet. But and like major players as well. But
that's the thing. I thought Vincent Hirsch. Oh, there must be something with it. Well, we'll see. Don't hold your breath, though.
Yeah. One element I really loved, though, added to the confusion that was going on already, where you're like, the dragon sound. It's like everything about this credit seems to be, we've been following this ninja biker gang the whole time. Now it's cutting between footage of them and a random band we haven't seen before that seem to be singing about them. But it's also very clear that is not live footage, even though it seems to be kind of indicating that it is. But then they add in a little thing of them doing like taekwondo on stage. Yeah. And then the sound effects are playing in the song. So you get a guy doing like a little double kick. And then you get that, which if they were playing live, I would love if that was like a thing he had to do every time they played the song. And they had to have the microphone like at his crotch or something.
Yeah, he has to just do it like live. Because I hate songs that have sound effects, like on the video. The Jackson 5 have one that do that. It's can you feel it? Can you feel it? And in the video, they're like sprinkling stardust over things.
And they become like giant gold Jacksons, as I recall. Yeah.
And the sound of the stardust sprinkling is so loud in the mix, it drowns the music out. It's like, it's like, what the? It sounds terrible.
I don't know if that's supposed to be like a little thing to add. Like we were talking about it actually, weirdly enough, at the weekend. Saying about like, radio DJs have that thing where like you could record a song off the radio. But it was apparently the reason that they come in and talk over things is because like that was the deal made with radio companies between record companies, is so they can go, well, people can't just tape it off the radio and get the song now because they'll have some guy talking over it at one point. I don't know if that was the same, maybe with like sometimes they're like, yeah, because say people like just watching it, they'll go and buy the record instead of waiting for the song to come on TV. So it's like you're not getting the proper song, you're getting it drowned out with stardust or whatever the hell,
Yeah, that's it.
I remember I don't know, well, I assume you might know, John, but then this is 90s Bowie I'm talking about. I remember David Bowie had a single out in the late 90s, and the video was him in a public bathroom, and like the song was basically playing through a speaker in the bathroom, and then it was all you could hear was like him going, how's it going? Like and talking to the guy next to him. And the video was basically Bowie making like small talk with a guy and fix it. And you could hear like as he was running the taps, you'd hear the water or everything. And I remember it been very off-putting because it seemed like, Bowie obviously very, very respected for being an experimental artist, but this seemed really like, get this video. And then it turned out to be like, this is just really boring to watch though, David. Like, but then it is 90s Bowie, which is like, that's, he's off the boil then, I guess.
Well, you get some great stuff in the 90s. You get some bad stuff too. But he put out a good few decent albums in the 90s. I'm trying to think what one that might be actually. I've seen that many Bowie videos. I'm really questioning myself here.
Well,
you've put me on a thing. I'm going to have to look it up. I have to get back. I'm going to have to figure it out.
As I say though, like I know a guy who saw Bowie live, but it was in the 90s, and he said it was the worst gig he's ever been to because he was doing I will not perform any of the hits.
Was he doing Tin Machine songs?
It was all just like, this is the new, like, I am an artist. I'm not a jukebox. I'm going to come out and perform my latest, my latest works. And you're going to appreciate that. And people were just like, just play, just a little bit of Starman, or like
it's a difficult
little bit of
one,
Heroes,
isn't it? Because I understand, you want to promote your new work, but you also have to think of the audience. In my mind, I think a compromise of even 50-50.
Yeah,
even half the sets all, and don't like separate it like that. Just weave them in, But you can come up with something.
Yeah, I think that was the period too when him and Morrissey were doing that tour together, and Morrissey, he's a prima donna. Just everyone, you could just tell by looking at him, really. But they did a thing where, like, Morrissey would open the set, and he would do his thing, and then Bowie's suggestion. But when I say they did a tour together, it didn't work. Because Bowie wanted them, like, so then you, like, fade away, and I come out, and then I'm the second half of the gig, and it's like, I'm the big thing that everyone's here to see, basically.
Well, it's true.
But Morrissey was like, and I have to say quite rightfully, he was like, no, I've got, like, can we not do, like, a duet at the end or something? Because, like, I've got fans. Like, there are people here to see me as well. And, Morrissey fans are notoriously, like, eager. They will throw themselves up on stage to just get touching, like, to lick the guy's shoelace. They're crazy, particularly back in the 90s. So it was a weird scenario of Bowie in that stage of his career doing things like that. And then like also like Morrissey bringing up a valid point, and Bowie been like, then no, I'm not doing the tour then.
Oh. I mean, I do agree Bowie should be the highlight of that. But I like that suggestion of a duet to like bridge the two sets.
Yeah. Oh no, I think they were supposed to do. They would pass over where, like, I guess they were essentially doing a duet, but like mid set it was going to be Morrissey would start singing Tiny a Tiny Dancer, what do you call the song, I was dancing when I was doing, like the T-Rex song, not Private Dancer, that's something dancer, right, isn't it?
By who, sorry?
T-Rex.
By T-Rex. There's Cosmic Dancer.
Cosmic Dancer, there you go.
For some reason, I got confused because I was thinking the Private Dancer is the Tina Turner song.
Yeah, Dancing for Money.
Yeah. Good cover of that by Peaches.
Oh, that just makes me think of Trailer Park Boys now, because they had that guy Jim Leahy brings in to like be reinforcements. He's an ex-army guy, and his last name is Dancer. So they all call him Private Dancer all the time.
I forgot about that.
But I think they were supposed to do. Morrissey was supposed to start singing Cosmic Dancer, and then like the second verse, Bowie would take over for it, and Morrissey would just piss off basically. And then he was just like, "Well, no, can't it be more of it? Can I come back out later?" And Bowie's like, "No, you can't."
I think use it as a bridge. I'd do. They're together for that one song, and then Morrissey leaves. That'd be cool. That'd be interesting.
Yeah. But I don't know. Again, I would have been like the encore. Come out and do a song together. Like that's Bowie can have the last song, but then do the encore, and then it's the two of them. Like there you go.
That'd be fun. And even if it's a Bowie song they're doing together, that'd be cool.
Although I think I'm getting this from Morrissey's autobiography, so it could be that it's like there wasn't like that at all.
Yeah, if Bowie was still around, he'd be like, "Oh no, he was just an arsehole."
Yeah, it's like literally every Morrissey's autobiography is great fun to read because basically it's the pettiest man in the world who remembers every single grudge he ever had. It's basically like that Father Ted's acceptance speech where he's just like,
and now we move on to Liars.
Yeah, every single bit of it's like, oh, wow, it's so weird that this 50-year-old man, he never did a single thing wrong in his life. It's just that the world was out to get him so badly, and every single person he knew betrayed him for some reason.
Morrissey is Father Ted Crilley. I love it.
But anyway, Miami Connection.
We see a credit for the director of photography, as you mentioned, Maximo Munzi.
Oh, yeah.
So he worked, when I looked at it, on so many productions, loads, and I haven't heard of any of them. Yeah,
he's, so I looked this up, died at age 57.
Oh.
But he has 104 credits to his name.
Shit.
Well, that's a guy who was friggin' working. That's like you're like a different film a week sometimes.
And let me tell you, I might not have heard of them, but there's some amazing titles. I've wrote down some of my favorite names. First off, possibly the best one. I'm starting with the best one. Blondes Have More Guns. How do you beat that? Come on, blondes have more guns. Then you've got Annie Claus is coming to town. Scorcher.
That's a very recent film about the current weather crisis in
exactly.
England.
They Crawl. Not a sequel to They Live, I don't think.
Or maybe it's a prequel about like the primordial ooze and the beginning of evolution.
Before they can live, they crawl. That's the tagline.
Although I guess that's up to interpretation, because I would assume then they live is like, no, that's the aliens, I guess. But that could be about humanity. So
it could be.
It could be the aliens say about like they live, so we have to go in and start controlling them or whatever. But
well, then we get one that I'm pretty sure I've seen on Pornhub: Secrets of a Chambermaid. That sounds very erotic. Actually, it's a bit too tame for Pornhub. It's more of a late night Channel 5 back in the 90s. After Red Shoe Diaries or Emmanuel. Then it's Secrets of a Chambermaid. And also, he did Sinful Obsession, which sounds like an erotic thriller from the 90s as well.
Yeah. Or like a Catherine Cookson novel.
The final one I wrote down, Los Angeles Street Fighter. That sounds cool. I want to watch that. Can we watch that? Can we review that?
It's all the characters from Street Fighter who particularly come from LA.
It's probably like one.
It's like, who would be... I was going to say Balrog, but I think he's Vegas, actually. Ironically, he's Vegas, and then there is Vega. And I think those characters got their names mixed up at one point.
It's close to that. It's close to that. Basically, M. Bison is not called M. Bison. M. Bison...
M. Bison was Balrog.
Yes.
Yeah. But was Vega mixed up in that too? Or it was
Vega was Vega, I think.
Oh, okay.
But Balrog is actually the name for M. Bison.
Which is I love M. Bison, but Balrog makes you now think of the giant friggin' thing from Lord of the Rings. And him being the main boss of the game would be like, well, it makes sense that he would call Balrog.
The boxer was called M. Bison because it's supposed to be Mike Tyson.
Ah, there you go.
But they changed it because he was going to sue them. So in the Western market, they flipped the name. So, well, what do you mean? It's not Mike Tyson. He's called Balrog.
I imagine every time, though. And, like Mike Tyson got a bit of a reputation for having a temper. Can you imagine anyone ever bringing up, hey, Mike, do you want to fire up the computer? You want to play a game of Street Fighter? Just been... Like, he's probably still very angry about it.
Probably knowing him, yeah. I wouldn't want to annoy him.
Yeah, everyone's sitting there with the earphones on, just in case.
But who would come from Los Angeles? Maybe Ken. Does Ken come from like California way? He looks like a California dude.
He does. He has a surfer dude vibe. Like he's got that shaggy blonde hair, so he might be. If anyone's coming from there, it'll be probably him. I'd imagine.
Let's try and confirm it on the air.
So I was going to say, at least in Mortal Kombat, Johnny Cage, because he's the actor. So that would go straight away. But
Johnny Cage. Right, here we go. Ken. Birthplace, United States of America. Okay.
That's the game designers were just like, it's a small country.
Well, it's actually changed as well. Birthplace in Street Fighter 1, 2, and 3 is Japan. In Street Fighter Alpha 3 and Street Fighter 4, it's USA. He likes spaghetti. He likes pasta. He likes family. And he likes skateboarding, but he does not
I love that his palate is so specific. So he's like, I like spaghetti and pasta, and they're not always the same thing.
No. Penne, totally different. It's the mouthfeel. You got to think about the mouthfeel. He dislikes umeboshi, the Japanese pickled plum, and soap operas.
Or maybe because he was out in LA and he tried out for a couple and then they rejected him. So he's like, I hate soap operas.
His occupation is listed as martial artist / hotel business tycoon.
He's a hotel business tycoon.
Apparently. Skills, cooking pasta dishes.
Well, apparently he does. He really knows his stuff about it. So.
Status alive.
Oh, thank God.
Where's he fucking born? Yeah.
Maybe he was born on an airplane that was flying over the United States and they could just never quite get to exactly where it was.
Oh, here we go. Hang on. Street Fighter 3 has the first mention. Oh, he's from Washington State.
Really?
But his family moved to California.
Oh yeah, and then he grew up. Then in his teenage years, the hair got shaggier.
Yeah.
The attitude got more laid back.
We were on the right track.
But then, the one thing that gets him really wound up is when people are just like, spaghetti and pasta. And he's just like, just so we know, those are two different things, okay?
Well, let me be controversial. Ken, if you're listening, if you're real, spaghetti's all well and good, but it ain't no linguine. You make any spaghetti dish with linguine, it's an improvement.
See, I'm a big fan of the penne because it's the... I have a friend who is a chef who told me that apparently that's the best one to use because the sauce gets into the inside of it.
Yeah. So I'm a big fan of what's the shells? They're like conchigli or something.
Oh yeah.
Because it's a similar deal. The sauce gets sort of stuck inside the shell.
Yeah, but then sometimes you just like to do a little scoop and twirl. And with penne, you're having to like stab all the time, so it's more of a tense dish.
If you want to have a more satisfying scoop and twirl, linguine.
No, I'm not gonna poo-poo linguine. It's a quality pasta.
Nicer shape, nicer texture, nicer mouthfeel. And if we know one thing on this show, it's mouthfeel.
But I also looked into Maximo Munzi, and it was just like, even though he sadly passed, to congratulate him again on that name, because I would love to be able to introduce myself as Maximo Munzi.
You'd have to really ham up the fact you're Italian there.
Well, do we know for sure that he was Italian? He could have just been really cool.
Yeah, that's true. He's so cool, he gets away with it.
He's the kind of guy, he can tell you the exact differences between spaghetti and pasta. So
there's probably some sort of a different flour ratio or something.
But I noticed that going through like you did, John, the credits, he does have a very obvious career trajectory of starts out in the 80s karate, kung fu movie boom, and all the the cheap Bruce Lee knockoffs, basically. How much we could probably put Miami Connection is part of that, and then goes into porn, quite blatant porn for a while, and then he finds his real niche, which is making straight to TV holiday Hallmark movies. Which are two genres that don't feel like they would have a lot of crossover.
Well, they both bring joy to the public.
Yeah,
there's a lot of joy being made.
One of them's very, very sleazy, and one of them's very, very wholesome. And
yeah, but what's wrong with those two things? I love Christmas. I was going to say I love porn. That sounds sleazy. These two things can exist. You can enjoy them both. They're for different times of day, different states of mind.
I mean, there's a lot of people that could even, mix around. Some very sex-positive people would be like, nothing wrong with porn. Porn could be a wholesome thing as long as it's all consensual. And then on the flip side, the Hallmark holiday specials are kind of like, well, it's all very intensely white and very cheesy and usually just crammed full of product placements and stuff like that. So that in its own way is quite sleazy. So
coming soon, Hallmarks with a triple X at the end. It's their new adult channel.
And trying to think it's all in tribute to Maximo Munzi. But no, he did like I was a bit gutted that we didn't get more, but he did do quite a few of the like the Christmas 24 the random crap movies that they throw on that are always like filmed in the summer and always look like they're filmed in the summer, but it's always about a frazzled career woman has to go back to a small town and finds out that she really loves Christmas or something.
They're all that plot, every one of them.
Yeah, so but of them, he did do one of them was called Santa Switch, which is basically the plot of The Santa Claus with Tim Allen, where a guy has to take over as Santa begrudgingly. But he's helped by Sean Astin, the only celebrity, of course, in the cast, being Sean Astin. And he basically harasses him into being Santa. You then get Matchmaker Santa, which stars Christmas movie goddess Lacey Chabert. If you literally go out and throw a rock at any Christmas movie in Hallmark, Lacey Chabert from Mean Girls, her father, the inventor of the toaster strudel, would have a lot to say about that. But it's her and Alicia Witt, and I'm actually kind of her, Alicia Witt, or Dean Cain, Dean Cain, like we talked about that in Batman at one point. Dean Cain freaking loves Christmas stuff.
Oh God, yeah, he's in them all the time.
And I'm kind of stunned that Maximo hadn't worked with Alicia Witt or Dean Cain. There was one I saw in the poster. I was like, "There's Alicia Witt," and it was just some lady who looked like her. So that one must be pretty bad. If you can't even get Alicia Witt to be in your movie, you just have to get an Alicia Witt, lookalike to be in your crappy Hallmark Christmas movie.
I'll do it. I've got the Alicia Witt outfit and wig. Let's roll. I'll fill in.
Although my Matchmaker Santa has John Ratzenberger, so friggin' Cliff from Cheers, and Lynn Shay in it. So it's like, oh my god, it's actually got like some good people. Help for the Holidays, which is an Elf ripoff. Starring Summer Glau from Firefly.
Hell yeah!
And it is Elf. That's it. That's the movie. She's Santa's elf, and she goes away from the North Pole to help people celebrate Christmas elsewhere, and she's just doing everything that Will Ferrell did, where she's just walking around. It's like, I'm an elf. Like I'm so kooky and wholesome, and blah, 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 blah. And you're just like, Summer Glau, what are you doing here? But in general, though, Summer Glau should have a much better career than she currently does. But then there's like The Last Christmas Journey, The Last Christmas Card. There's Annie Claus is Coming to Town, which features Vivica A. Fox, our very own Miss Behaven from Batman and Robin. There,
yeah.
But his personal thing, my personal favorite of all the things he did, and it's entirely for the poster, is something called Oliver's Ghost, which is basically about a young boy who moves into a house and discovers that it is haunted by Martin Mull. Willard Kraft from Sabrina the Teenage Witch, mustachioed 60-year-old Martin Mull is like the kooky ghost hanging around with the kid.
Amazing.
And the poster is just the kid's face, and in the background, a very, very poorly photoshopped in, very kind of grumpy looking Martin Mull with a kind of like faded effect to make it look like he's a ghost.
I've just looked it up. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
The only other, I found a slightly different poster as well on Amazon where he looks equally as like, what the hell am I doing? Let me send you that one. I've got to send you this one in the chat. Here you go.
I see. Maybe that was Maximo's. That was his kind of thing. It's like, I like to work on projects where the main star just has the vibe of like, what the hell am I doing?
He can't be arsed at all.
Oh my goodness. Oh, poor Marty.
He's
still going, right, Martin Mull?
I want to say yes. Now I need to click to find out.
It does really look like he was out for like a cigarette break or something.
and he
snapped a random picture of him.
Paparazzi got him.
And then just, I guess, slipped it in somewhere. So yeah, everyone, please do go look up the various posters for Oliver's Ghost.
They're amazing. Oh.
And then one other one that got me, just because of the title, was Cloudy with a Chance of Love. Which the plotline is, an academic in meteorology must decide between her new job as a popular weather girl and her pursuit of her PhD in fellowship. Is her handsome boss interested in her due to her true self, or just as a ticket to a new network job in New York?
Oh my god, how will she tell?
And again, stars nobody. Doesn't even have Martin Mull in that one. So, and just to quickly Google, Martin Mull is, please God, let him still be going. He is alive. Hey! 78 years old, but he's still going.
Well, get him on the pod.
Or if he did die, then he could come on to help us review Oliver's Ghost.
Oh my god, guest starring the ghost of Martin Mull. Yes. I love it.
But yeah, that was kind of essentially minute 7 of Miami Connection.
Yeah, well, you know us listeners, we go off on tangents galore, and that's why you like us. The only other thing I've got here is to consult the drinking game.
Oh, of course.
Get your drink ready. Get your drink ready, everyone. We get a shirtless dude. That's a drink. Hang on. Right.
Does it have to be per shirtless dude?
Well,
there's
this is my next thing. We see him 3 times. Is that 2 more? Listeners, you decide. You decide. Do what's right for you. But because there's more to come, there's fist pumping. That's another drink. Right. We get to watch Dragon Sound play. That's another drink. Oh, good God Almighty. So then you decide if you're doing the other two shirtless things. Oh, good God. That's plenty for one session. That'll keep you in good stead until we meet again.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen the next minute. Let me tell you, you're going to be drinking in that one as well.
Oh, yeah. Actually, let me look ahead. Yeah, you will be. Prepare a drink.
You will be.
You will be. That's always very sinister the way Yoda says that. It's scary, isn't it?
I mean, I always kind of imagine then, like, Luke afterwards been like, it wasn't that scary. Like, it was really tiring, but it wasn't scary.
What are you talking about, you wimp? We'll head off now. We'll break the connection with Miami once again. We'll reconnect. Maybe not with Miami, but we'll reconnect with our heroes and our villains and our martial arts gods and rock stars in a week's time. Do join us on Facebook at Miami Minutes Taekwondo Orphanage, on Twitter at Miami Minutes, Instagram Miami Minutes. What else should I throw in there today? Go to our Patreon. Our network, Sleepy Charlie Media, has bonus episodes for you for giving us money to keep all of these shows going. So you're technically not paying for the episodes. You're paying to help this show out, but you get extras for doing so, which is nice.
We're telling you to cough up in our coffers to keep the quality content going.
Oh, that was nice. I like that. Well, we can't top that now, listeners. We can't. But Niall is a man of vocal mystery and wonder.
People don't realize, like, I've said on air before, like, to guests that, like, this isn't my actual voice. And we did do a meetup, me and John, this prior weekend with a few people from the Movies by Minutes community. And they kept saying to me, like, oh, you don't sound like you sound on the show. Like, you sound like a completely different... That's a completely different accent. And I'm like, yeah, I told you. Like, well, I don't sound like this.
It's not completely different. People saying that are weird. It's slightly different.
You're just used to it, John. I've been hornswoggling you for years.
Well, it could be that. It could be that as well. But no, it's slightly different. But on that note, we'll be off. Join us again soon. Taekwondo freaks.
Was that like a real stab in the end? God, Taekwondo dicks.
You fucking assholes. See you next time.
Listen to me.